Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So this is another addition to our ongoing cloud series on the channel called Off Premise. And in this video, I want to talk about 4 reasons why you should consider switching from software to cloud engineering, which basically means writing cloud native applications and doing DevOps on the cloud as opposed to normal software engineering. So without further ado, let's get to it. So according to the stats, 94% of the companies in 2022 are already migrated to the cloud. The main reason for this huge shift is due to the pandemic. During the pandemic, when everyone was working remote, companies had to migrate all their workloads into cloud. At the moment, there are mainly 2 types of companies. Number one, the companies that are already migrated to cloud, which requires maintenance and building new applications on it. And number 2, companies that are trying to migrate into cloud, or companies that are on their journey into cloud. These companies require like strategies on which cloud to go with, what kind of applications and services that they should use. The point here is demand is never in question. So that brings me to my number 1 point why you should consider cloud engineering is that you could be a generalist or an expert. With a lot of clouds out there, you could be an expert in one of the clouds like Salesforce, AWS or GCP for example, or you could be a generalist where you master technologies like Kubernetes and serverless computing for instance. So the other best thing about being in cloud is that you get to specialize in various things like machine learning, data engineering, security and networking for example. So if you're a developer who wants to take your skills beyond just programming, cloud is something that's worth looking into. The second reason is opportunities to work on projects that has huge impact. In the cloud space, even if you're working on a small project or a small team, the kind of impact you can make is huge. So recently I worked on a service cloud application for service technicians that goes out into the field. So after the field visit, they basically update all the data regarding the machine or their field visit, and this data would go back to the company, and once they receive it, there's a feedback request that sends out to the customer. This was such a small feature, but still after automating this, I felt like I made a huge contribution to the project, or I felt like I made a huge impact on the project because it was so much easier to ship this feature as opposed to software digital product where you have to write code and maintain the database. The third reason is easy to adapt within other industries. So let's say you have gotten into cloud and you're working with AWS or Microsoft Azure. It's easy to switch between cloud vendors when you have new opportunities. Let's say you're a fan of Jack Ma and you heard that Ali Cloud is getting expanded to Europe and you want to go for it. Once you have this fundamental cloud knowledge, it's easy to transfer from one cloud to another, but it's not always true. It also depends on what type of cloud you're working on. For example, Salesforce is a CRM cloud. So if you have the CRM knowledge, you might want to look into other CRM clouds like Oracle or Azure, for example. But if you're working with ERP clouds like enterprise resource planning clouds, you want to look into other clouds that works or that has similar technologies. So once you have this cloud knowledge, most of the knowledge that you have, the fundamental knowledge to an extent can be transferable. So the fourth reason, probably the most important one, is the future-proofing your career. Like we spoke about earlier, many companies of all sizes like startups, scale-ups, enterprises, they're already in the process of migrating to the cloud or they're already on the cloud. It's not all about technology. Working in cloud also involves processes around DevOps, site reliability engineering, Agile, Scrum, many other technologies that are needed to perform both you as an individual engineer or also as a team. So if you're looking to future-proof your career or you're looking to be an all-rounded developer or a software engineer, cloud is something that's worth looking into because you will only not be writing code, but you will also be maintaining a whole platform, which gives you a much more wider perspective and knowledge in the space. So that was a super quick addition to our ongoing off-premise series. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you all next week. Cheers.